What's happening, Raider Nation? Get ready for 3 absolutely crucial developments that are about to determine the entire future of your Las Vegas Raiders franchise. We're talking about cut-down day revelations that will break your heart, playoff predictions that will restore your faith, and roster mistake warnings that could haunt this organization forever. Right at this very moment, your legendary head coach is preparing for the most difficult part of his job. And his approach to breaking devastating news reveals the championship character this organization desperately needed. But that's just the beginning of this emotional roller coaster, Raider Nation. We've also got a major NFL analyst making bold predictions about this team's playoff chances that will give you absolute chills. And if that wasn't enough to make your emotions run wild, we've got experts warning that the Raiders are about to make a massive roster mistake that could destroy the quarterback depth they've worked so hard to build. This isn't just another preseason wrap-up, Raider Nation. This is the kind of news that separates championship seasons from disasters. We're talking about leadership philosophy that proves this organization finally has the right culture, national recognition that validates everything this new regime has built, and potential mistakes that could undermine all the progress. The next 48 hours will determine whether the silver and black emerge as legitimate playoff contenders or fall victim to the same old mistakes that have plagued this franchise for years. From coaching wisdom that shows championship mentality, to analyst confidence that proves the doubters wrong, to warning signs that could prevent catastrophic errors. So smash that like button if you're ready for the most emotional and critical Raiders analysis you've ever heard. Drop a comment below with your thoughts on how these decisions will shape the season, and make sure you're subscribed because these next few days are about to determine everything. We've got coaching wisdom that'll inspire you, analyst confidence that'll pump you up, and warning signs that'll have you demanding better decisions. Are you ready to discover the heartbreaking reality of cutdown day and how Pete Carroll's approach proves this organization finally has the leadership it needs? The emotional wisdom and championship mentality will show you exactly why this franchise is different now. Let's dive into the first revelation that shows the human side of building a winning culture. Here we go, Raider Nation. Prepare to see the emotional side of championship leadership as Pete Carroll reveals the most difficult part of his job and why his approach proves this organization finally has the culture it needs. Carroll just opened up about cutdown day in a way that will absolutely break your heart, while proving that the silver and black finally have a coach who understands what it means to build a winning culture. His words reveal the human side of the ruthless decisions that separate champions from pretenders. Listen to Carroll's emotional explanation of how he handles the most difficult conversations in football. No, I haven't found in all of the times we've had to face that, I haven't found really the right way to do it other than just tell them exactly what you feel. And it's not always what they want to hear, but I try to come as clear to them as I can. This is real leadership, Raider Nation. Carroll doesn't try to sugarcoat devastating news or hide behind corporate speak. He looks players in the eye and tells them the truth, even when that truth is heartbreaking. That's the kind of honest leadership that builds trust and respect throughout an organization. But here's what makes Carroll's approach so powerful. He understands the human impact of these decisions. Tell them exactly what took place and why, and give them good reason. Because I know as soon as they walk out that door, their mind is going a million miles an hour, and they're trying to figure out why. What can I do? What's next? And what's going on? And I feel for every one of them. Carroll feels for every player he has to cut. He understands that these aren't just roster moves. These are life-changing moments for young men who have given everything to achieve their NFL dreams. That empathy and understanding is exactly what separates great coaches from ordinary ones. Competitive training camp that Carroll has orchestrated has led to improved play across the board, but it's also created some incredibly difficult decisions. When everyone is competing at the highest level, choosing who stays and who goes becomes agonizing, but Carroll's philosophy goes even deeper than just honest communication. He explained, just tell them straight up what the situation was, what the opportunities are, because they never over. Guys come back to us all the time, and so there's always a positive look at it. It's not like see you later forever. This is brilliant leadership psychology, Raider Nation. Carroll doesn't end these conversations with finality. He leaves the door open for future opportunities. He understands that NFL rosters are constantly changing and that today's cut could be tomorrow's comeback story. Carroll revealed the respect he has for every player who has competed for this team. These guys are in this meeting room right here. They deserve to be part of this club. They have given everything they've got. I love the way that they fought through maybe their old habits, old ways, to join us and be part of the mentality that we're standing for here, and they feel like they're our guys. That recognition and respect for effort and commitment is exactly what creates loyalty and championship. Culture! Players who get cut by Carroll will leave knowing they were respected and valued, even if they weren't kept on the roster. Carroll's approach to cut down day proves that this organization finally has a leader who understands that building a championship culture requires more than just X's and O's. It requires genuine care for the human beings who make up the team. But Raider Nation, get ready for some incredible validation from a major NFL analyst who believes this team is ready to shock the entire league. The playoff predictions will give you absolute chills. Buckle up, Raider Nation, because NFL analyst Louis Riddick just delivered a prediction on First Take that's about to send shockwaves through the entire league and validate everything you've been believing about this team. Riddick didn't just compliment the Raiders, he made a bold playoff prediction that puts the silver and black ahead of teams that everyone else expects to contend. This is the kind of national recognition that proves the doubters have been sleeping on what Pete Carroll and this organization have built. Listen to this incredible endorsement from Riddick. Think about the teams that have made some significant strides and improvements for 2025. The Raiders have made some significant improvements. I trust the Raiders right now to find a way to sneak into the playoffs before I would trust the Bengals. This is massive, Raider Nation. Riddick is choosing the Raiders over the Bengals for a playoff spot. We're talking about a respected NFL analyst who evaluates talent for a living, and he's seeing something special developing in silver and black that has him more confident in this team than established contenders. The fact that Riddick used the phrase significant improvements multiple times shows that he's been paying attention to what this new regime has accomplished. From the front office changes to the coaching staff overhaul to the strategic player acquisitions, Riddick sees a franchise that has fundamentally transformed itself. Riddick's confidence isn't based on blind optimism. It's based on tangible improvements that have changed the trajectory of this franchise. The competition and improvement that Carroll has instilled throughout training camp is clearly visible to people who evaluate teams professionally. This prediction also proves that national analysts are finally taking the Raiders seriously. For too long, this franchise has been written off before the season even started. But Riddick's endorsement shows that the NFL world is starting to recognize the quality of what's being built in Las Vegas. The contrast Riddick made with the Bengals is particularly significant. Cincinnati has been considered a playoff contender for years, but Riddick sees more reliability and potential in what the Raiders have constructed this offseason. Carroll's emphasis on competition and improvement has created exactly the kind of culture that experienced analysts recognize as sustainable. Riddick isn't just impressed by the talent. He's impressed by the mentality and approach that Carroll has established. The timing of this prediction is perfect because it comes right before the regular season when national expectations are being set. Riddick's confidence gives Raider Nation legitimate reasons to believe that this season could be the breakthrough that everyone has been waiting for. Riddick understands that the Raiders have improved in the most important areas, which suggests he sees championship level changes in quarterback play, coaching, and organizational culture. Those are the foundation pieces that determine whether teams succeed or fail. The phrase sneak into the playoffs might sound modest, but it's actually huge for a franchise that hasn't made the postseason in 4 years. Riddick is predicting that the Raiders will exceed expectations and find a way to compete with the best teams in the conference. But Raider Nation, get ready for a warning that could prevent this organization from making a catastrophic mistake. The roster projection era could undermine everything this team has worked to build. Raider Nation, this final revelation is absolutely critical because experts are warning that the Raiders are about to make a roster mistake so massive that it could destroy all the quarterback depth progress they've made this season. A to Z Sports. Justin Churchill just released a 53-man roster projection that has experts screaming about a potential catastrophic error. He predicts that the Raiders will cut Cam Miller and try to sneak him onto the practice squad. And this decision could haunt the organization forever. Churchill's projection is absolutely terrifying. Aiden O'Connell has been a starter for most of his career, and having that experience over the former Division II QB Cam Miller, who's also a rookie, is just more valuable. Make no mistake about it, Miller is coming for that spot. Cam Miller makes the practice squad. This would be a disaster, Raider Nation. Miller has outperformed O'Connell throughout the preseason and brings the kind of excitement and potential that this franchise desperately needs. Cutting him would eliminate all competition for O'Connell and potentially gift a future star to another organization. The risk of losing Miller on waivers is enormous. After his spectacular performances and a dog year's development that has coaches raving, there's no way Miller would clear waivers and reach the practice squad. Some team would absolutely claim him, and the Raiders would lose a potential franchise quarterback forever. Churchill's reasoning completely ignores the reality of Miller's rapid development and superior preseason performance, while O'Connell has been throwing interceptions and struggling with pace. Miller has been making plays and showing the kind of growth that proves he belongs on the active roster. The solution is obvious, Raider Nation. Keep 3 quarterbacks on the 53-man roster. Geno Smith, O'Connell, and Miller would create the best quarterback room this team has had in years. The depth and competition would benefit everyone involved. Cutting. Miller would also send a terrible message about this organization's commitment to developing young talent. After Tom Brady endorsed his selection and coaches have raved about his accelerated development, releasing him would prove that the Raiders still don't understand how to evaluate and retain potential. The upcoming game against Arizona is absolutely critical for preventing this mistake. Miller and O'Connell will both get opportunities to prove their worth, and if Miller outperforms the veteran again, there should be no question about keeping him on the active roster. Churchill's projection ignores the competition and improvement philosophy that Pete Carroll has established. Carroll wants players competing for every position, and cutting Miller would eliminate the healthy competition. That pushes O'Connell to be better. The fact that other experts are calling this a horrible move proves that Churchill's projection goes against conventional wisdom about roster construction and player development. You don't cut promising young players who are outperforming veterans. Miller's dual threat skill set and rapid development make him exactly the kind of player that championship organizations protect and develop. His potential upside far exceeds O'Connell's proven limitations, making the choice between them absolutely clear. The warning is urgent, Raider Nation. This organization cannot afford to make the same old mistakes that have plagued this franchise. For years, Miller represents hope and potential, while cutting him would represent the kind of short-sighted thinking that keeps teams mediocre. Saturday's game against Arizona could be the most important preseason game in recent memory. Miller needs to prove once again that he belongs on the active roster, while O'Connell needs to show dramatic improvement or risk losing his spot entirely. Raider Nation, these 3 developments, Carroll's championship leadership approach, Riddick's playoff confidence, and the urgent Miller roster warning, represent everything that's at stake as this season begins. So smash that like button if you believe Carroll's leadership will guide this team to success. Drop a comment below demanding that the Raiders keep Miller on the active roster. And make sure you're subscribed, because these next few days will determine whether this franchise finally breaks through or falls victim to the same old mistakes. This is the moment of truth, Raider Nation. Championship leadership, national confidence, and critical decisions that will define everything. The question is, will this organization make the right choices when it matters most?